Hello, my name is Diana Kramer, and this is my proposal for an EdTech professional development. I envision this professional development taking place over the course of 2 days, either 2 consecutive days or 2 days of the week. So 1 week on a Thursday, and then the next week also on a Thursday or something like that. I see it having two-hour sessions, so all together it would be 4 2-hour sessions. I'd like to begin with something called Common Sense Educator. Now, Common Sense Education is a nonprofit and completely free resource for parents, educators, and advocates that promotes citizenship around all sources of media. They have a digital citizenship certification program that requires educators to teach a lesson in digital citizenship and include some type of community involvement. I would like to see not just my school, but the entire school district on board with this program so we can keep our students safe and show them what it means to be a responsible citizen. Common Sense Education there's resources for parents and for advocates. I'll be talking about resources for educators. So I would see that the first session of each day would begin with Common Sense Education. And what they have a Common Sense Education recognition program, or it's a certification program that educators can complete to earn a badge. It's really great. So you start off with you can also become a Common Sense school, which I would like to see, or as I said, really to become a Common Sense district. And so what happens here is educators make a commitment and they go through the program. It starts off with watching some videos, and in the professional development, I would like to see us watch these videos and pause at various points and discuss the videos. And then we would each individually take these quizzes, or there's times where they ask for feedback, or asking questions or filling out things. That would be the first part of it. The second part is then to teach a lesson. So we wouldn't be teaching a lesson during the professional development, but for the second day which would be the first session of the second day, we would start off maybe mock teaching a lesson. So what's great is that they've got their curriculum, lesson plans. Let's go to about digital citizenship. So they provide you with everything you need to teach digital citizenship. You can choose your grades. And let's then go to lesson plans. I am going to, you can filter by grade and by what it is you want to teach. I'm going to filter mine by grade 7 because that is one of the grades I teach. I teach 7th and 8th grade. And let's then we could go into privacy and security. And so you see they have this lesson called Big Data. And click on there. And it shows you they've got the objectives. So there's a full lesson plan. There's warm-ups. This is a create. Let's see what this is. And it tells you exactly what to do. There's a handout. There's slides you can look at. Sometimes there's videos that the students watch. It tells you what to say, what to allow time for. And there are also, just by the way, if you wanted to, they have quick lessons, quick activities also. So if you don't want to spend a full 45 minutes teaching a lesson, you could do a quick activity that's more these 15-minute activities. One of the suggestions that I have is within a school, perhaps each subject could take a different lesson so that kids aren't getting the same lesson over and over again in their classes. So perhaps PE could teach about big data. All the history department would teach about social media and so on. And just a real quick look, I'm going to show you that you see I have completed the Protecting Students' Privacy online training, and it's, there's a Facebook page, and it is, I just think it's the greatest resource. So another aspect of common sense education is they review learning apps and websites, so technologies, and tech tools. So you can look through their reviews, but then you can search for things. And what's great is they give it a privacy rating. So I'm going to look for Book Widget, because that is the next tool I want to be talking about. So you can see here, Book Widgets. Now in this, it gives it a community rating of 5 stars. It gives it a learning rating of 3 stars, which I will address when I get to Book Widgets. The thing is with Book Widgets, because I have experience with it, is that it can be, it's very engaging, but it's really up to the teacher to design these widgets so that the students are learning. They're not just engaged, but they are actually learning. There is not a privacy rating yet, but Book Widgets recently announced a partnership with both Google Classroom and Schoology and many other LMS systems, so that it can be run through the system, and that would help ensure privacy. But the privacy rating is great within Common Sense Education, because it does the work for us. So I have read that the Google privacy agreement that you agree to, I think Apple and Google both, their agreements are over 1 million words. I don't know about you, I'm not reading 1 million words. I usually just click agree. But by being able to look here at Common Sense Education, you can look and see what their privacy ratings have to say, so that before you integrate a tool into your classroom, you know that it's been looked over and that it doesn't violate any FERPA laws, or the other one where they're not supposed to take the data and market to the students. All right, I am going to move on. Now that I've mentioned Book Widgets, I'm going to go ahead and move on to Book Widgets. Now, Book Widgets, unlike Common Sense Education, is not free, but its pricing is right here, and the price goes down by depending on how many teachers. So 1 teacher is $9 a month, 5 teachers, $49 per teacher per year, which actually is the same here. But if you get more, if you get 10, $35, and then unlimited teachers, it's price per student. You can contact them and for pricing. The price goes down depending on how many teachers are using it. What I love about Book Widgets is that, and this I would see the first day of our professional development, going into Book Widgets and really diving into this app. The thing is that you can create so many different things. So this says choose from 40+ digital exercise templates. But the thing is that within those templates, there's unlimited possibilities. And they work on smartphones, tablets, and computers, which is really fun because it's a widget. You can follow their activity live. And as I mentioned earlier, it works even better now that they've teamed with Google Classroom and Schoology, etc. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and show you what I have over here. Nope, right here. So these are some of the widgets that I've created. I will say, and that there is a pretty steep learning curve. At first, because there's just so much to this. At first, it can seem a little overwhelming, but as one gets into it and starts to play around with the tools and understand how it works, eventually it clicks into place and it becomes really easy. So let me show you. I created this widget. It's Intro to Art, and it's 20 days of activities. And this is what's great. So this is known as a hotspot. Now you can create a hotspot that's a map, and the map would have little places that you can click on, and then you can do activities like a jigsaw puzzle or go do a virtual field trip and many other things. For me, I'm an art teacher. I did 20 days of activities. So if you click on day 1, right here, you can see I wrote paste a selfie of yourself or other photo on the left side. So right here, they would be able to paste that. And then on this side, they draw a contour line of their face. If we go over here to day 15, this is really great. I'm not going to be able to finish this for you, but oh, maybe this will work. This is a painting by a man named Wayne Thiebaud, and I say, what do you notice about the shadows? And then look, it says, put the puzzle together. I wrote these instructions, then follow the audio instructions. You will need your sketchbook and oil pastels. So what happens when the student puts the painting together, and it's already even been put together, but what happens is when they put it together, because you saw I said audio instructions, it actually then has my voice, which I pre-recorded, telling the students like, congratulations, you finished this delicious dessert. Now get your oil pastels in your sketchbook, sketch these shadows. And so again, this is very much, universal design for learning and differentiated instruction, in that I can combine audio and visuals and many different other ways of learning. And so my proposal would be that we also work on book widgets the first day and the second day. This would be in the afternoon session, and there would be plenty of time for teachers to experiment with the app. The first day would be really, I would like to pre-teach how to use this to maybe a small group of educators that would then be able to teach to other groups of educators. And then the second day would be more for really exploration and then tutoring. All right, I'm going to close that, and then I'm going to the third thing I would really like to see, and not so much a training. I mean, we can go into a training, but what I would really love to see and proposing is that the school teachers pay teachers school access. So what we are all familiar with, teachers pay teachers. It's a place where educators go to essentially get lessons and lesson plans that other teachers have created. So you know that it's standards-based, et cetera, et cetera. And then it's a great place for educators to make a little extra money, because let's face it, most educators, a lot of us need second jobs. So, but what school access is, it's yearly pricing, and you get full access to everything on teachers pay teachers. So it supports the teachers who are making the content, and it supports the teachers that need it. But what's really great is there's digital and printable resources, and you get to see what other educators in your school are using. So it helps with collaboration. Also, administrators can see what their teachers have been doing as well. I think that concludes my presentation. These are the 3 tools that I recommend. I have tested all of them out, and I know them to be viable. Thank you for letting me share.